So, UGVR just came out with its Halloween update, and with it came the new boss, the Triskeletops. And of course there are multiple videos who review everything new in the update, but there's something bigger going on here. When comparing the Triskeletops to the Magmadon, you realize that in no way are they the same. There's a lot of little things in this update that tells us what the UGVR game is trying to do. And I feel it's important to go over these things, so today, that's what I'm gonna do. This is what the Halloween update tells us about UG. Before you can even access the new part of the game, you need to step on a stone plate. Basically, it determines if your dinosaur is level 15 or above, and if it isn't, you don't get to go through the doors. Now, it's not difficult to get your dinosaur to level 15 by any means. Especially the first dinosaur you get, the Nubisaurus, which levels up easier than all the others. Before this, the best dinosaur in the game, the Magmadon, could be accessed no matter what level you were. And when you buy the slingshot, it makes it really easy to kill any dinosaur. Thus, you had basically no reason to play through any other part of the game. So most likely, they added this prerequisite to add another step to the game. Now you actually have to feed and train up a dinosaur before you go into the harder levels. The way I see it, UG is trying to add some sort of progression into the game. Because right now, even if you've played for a little bit, you'll soon realize this game is heavily based on trading. There's only really 3 dinosaurs at a time that you can actually collect on your own. Any dinosaur that isn't in the current game, you have to trade for. So even something as simple as a level locked area gives the player something else to do. And honestly, I struggle to think of anything else they could add to make the game more interesting. At least not other than adding more areas and more dinosaurs. Overall though, adding level locked areas is a step in the right direction, both figuratively and literally. Like you literally have to step on the stone plate. This update brought an entirely new environment and atmosphere to the game, ditto the new area itself. Now it's nighttime on the whole map, and when you first enter the new area, you go through a dark tunnel. I won't pretend like it's easy to see in the video, but there's a lot of cool little details throughout the environment. And while the specifics don't really make sense, you'll realize that your whole journey is through one giant dinosaur skeleton. Like the Pig Valley, there's loot boxes scattered around the area, and going out of your way to collect these loot boxes gives you a small sense of exploration. This area also takes inspiration from the previous volcano map, where before you had to travel across lava on rocks, you now have to travel across quicksand on skeleton bones. The danger here being a wormish dinosaur that attacks you if you fall in, as well as bringing skeleton versions of the animals from both the Pig Valley and the volcano. There isn't exactly a lot of cave inspiration here, except for I guess that you're traveling through a cave for the first part, but despite that, I don't think anyone would disagree with me that this is the best they've done with an area so far. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. Instead of being a place to walk around like the volcano or the Pig Valley, it has a very linear feel, which now that I mention it is actually a lot like the cave. But it really is an insane addition for what I think is their first major update, and it's easy to see that they're putting in the work to get these things out and looking good. Now it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the dinosaur in the room. Honestly, I'm a little underwhelmed with what the Triskeletops bring to the table. I could go find a clip of how you fight the Magmadon, but I don't really need to, because what you're seeing here is how you fought the Magmadon. All you need to do is grab a slingshot and you can farm the boss like this forever. As the most powerful dinosaurs in the game, you'd think that the Triskeletops and Magmadon are hard to get, but because it's so easy to farm like this, anyone you see trying to trade will probably have a Magmadon, and if you give it a few days, a Triskeletops as well. And there's no incentive to do it the other way. Not only is it genuinely 10 times slower, but there's also a pretty good chance you just die fighting it. Overall, it's so disappointing to see that they didn't make any effort to... What? This is the Triskeletops healing factor. For every 25,000 health the Triskeletops loses, it'll dive into the ground. And unless you do something about it, he'll regenerate back to his full HP. There's only one way to stop this process. Hitting the dirt with your dinosaur 10 times will pop the Triskeletops out of the ground. The real significance here is that you can't just sit still with your slingshot anymore. You need to jump in with your dinosaur to get the work done. There is an alternative method where if you run far enough away, the Triskeletops will pop out naturally. But if anything, that's more use for your dinosaur. When the Triskeletops pops out, it'll use a move that damages the area around it. You need to move quick to not take damage, especially since it'll use this move 3 times over the course of its life. Because of this, the Triskeletops fight basically requires a dinosaur, as opposed to the Magmadon, which just took a slingshot and 3 minutes of your time. Okay, that was a lot of talking. If you've been fighting the Triskeletops, you've probably learned by now that this isn't that big of a deal. It just hinders the process of spamming and makes you move for a second. But this part of the fight signifies something a little more. It kind of shows us that they want to make the bosses more difficult, which is a really important indicator this early in the game's development. I'd say that right now, UGVR can go two ways. It could very likely go down the route of games like Pet Simulator. You really just click and click, and I think the game is more about trading than anything. Games of this kind are basically built so that people can spend their time and money on them. But as it's still in its early stages, we can't really tell. UGVR could take the second route, doing things like changing the environment you're in so that you can't just cheese the whole boss fight, making the boss shoot projectiles so that you can't stay in one place, or even something like requiring more than one person in order to fight a boss. These are all examples of things that would change the game for the better. It gives the game more immersion and more life, and I'm running out of words here. My point is, it adds a difficulty to the game. Instead of clicking the same button over and over to get a rare dinosaur, to trade it for another rare dinosaur, to trade it for another rare dinosaur, and you get the idea. My point is that UGVR has a choice to make. Does it want to be the game that funnels you into spending money, where free-to-play players just don't get the same experience? Or does it want to become a powerhouse of a game that attracts the kids who love Gorilla Tag movement and the rest of the VR community that loves good quality games? Of course I'm hoping for the second, but I honestly think it's a coin flip right now. But those are all my thoughts. Thank you for watching. I just want to ask you guys, do you guys think that the amount of gold that you get for free in this game is enough for a player to actually progress, you know, get all the tools, all the saddles?
No.
I think that the players should deserve 5 quests a day, so it don't take too long to actually get quests every freaking day, because you gotta wait 2 quests a day. That's only 200 gold a day.
Yeah, that's like only 200. True. 4-3 quests. You know?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, honestly, if we're getting extreme here, you could do like 6 or 7 quests.
You want the white? You want the white?
Please.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
2. I guess.
I wonder if this is on purpose.